What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome back to the Dapper Snapper Gaming channel, and welcome to our SPL D-League draft analysis. That's right, we are participating in the SPL D-League, and I could not be more excited. I thought I was going to be taking a longer break from draft, but you know what? When SPL comes around and you get the chance to do it, you got to take it. And so here we are. I'm excited to go through all of the mods that I chose today, and I'm excited to get your feedback and see what everyone else thinks out there. Before we do, make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already. Of course, also share the video with your friends and click the bell so you're notified when new videos are uploaded. This is going to be a crazy season, and I am using a bunch of mods that I have never used before and am super uncomfortable with, but you know what? We're gonna make it work. And so I am looking forward to that. So without any further ado, I say we just jump right in. So I got 9th pick, which is pretty bad. I'm not a huge fan, but you know what? I can't really say anything because I always get a really poor placement in draft, so it is what it is. 9th really isn't close to the wheel. It's really late in the first round, so it is what it is. So of course your Iron Valiants, your Great Tusks, your Meowscaradas, those went first 3. Makes sense. I was never going to get those. Didn't expect it. So I was thinking of what should I build my team around, and I was thinking, you know what? I haven't built around Greninja in a really long time. I think now would be a really good time, and so I had planned on getting that, until it got sniped right before I was going to pick, and so I had to hard pivot. Now, I do have to give a lot of credit, a ton of credit, to Viz, and I want to kind of go over the difference with how this draft works versus some others. So we're doing what's called a head honcho style in this case. So basically, all of us have been assigned a quote-unquote honcho. In this case, mine is Viz, and we are part of what is called the Mew World Order. It's myself, A12, and D-Ray, and of course, if you all have been watching my channel for a while, you've seen I've battled D-Ray several times, and so we've had a connection over the past little bit. And so, yeah, we are not going to face each other, and we all kind of are working together to help each other out, that kind of thing. But so, yeah, Viz has helped me out a ton through this, so huge amounts of credit to Viz. Viz suggested that I go with something that he has been using recently, and I was like, you know what? I've never drafted it. I don't really know if it's any good. Let's give it a shot. And so we went with Deoxys Speed. Now, Mr. Noodle here is ready to do a lot of different things, actually. So this, of course, is very fast at 180 base speed, and the offenses and defenses aren't the best, but they're not horrible either, right? This actually will generally live one hit, as long as it's not like crazy super effective something. It actually can live a hit, which is pretty cool. It gets an incredible move pool to boot as well, so you get things like Stealth Rocks, you get things like Spikes, you get things like Taunt, and all of these things right here, including this and Knockoff, all make this an incredible lead, right? It's an incredible suicide lead. It gets things up very reliably, and so you don't really have to worry about it, right? But it can also do other things, right? And so I think that things like Meteor Beam, we have Dark Pulse, Focus Blast, and then of course its signature move, Psycho Boost. All of those are incredible. It can set screens as well. It just does a lot of different things really, really well. A lot of times you'll see it with a Focus Sash, but it can also do things with Life Orb, it can do Choice Specs, and even Power Herb with that Meteor Beam like I mentioned before. Overall, this mon is very versatile, and I think we're going to be running a bunch of different sets this season, and I'm excited to see just how much we can cook with it to make it work. For my second pick, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to go with, but again, Viz had an idea. And so we went with something that's kind of the polar opposite of Deoxys. This is something that is pretty slow, it's something that's very bulky, and it just kind of sits on the field forever, right? And so we actually went with Ting Lu. Now, if you all somehow don't know who Viz is, which I don't know how that's possible, but yeah, Viz has made Ting Lu very famous in the Draft League community, and that is with his weakness policy plus facade. That set was absolutely insane, and so he knows how to cook with this thing, so it's really, really cool. We get that awesome ability, Vessel of Ruin, which of course reduces the special attack of our enemies. We of course can set stealth rocks and spikes with this as well. Taunt also in this kit, and we also have things like Ruination as well. That helps us to break through some of those bulkier mons that we can't really hit. Ruination just does half of your HP, so that's really cool. Standards of course include Earthquake, Body Press, Heavy Slam, Throat Chop, and we also have some fringe choices like Memento and Whirlwind as well that can really help out there. A Choice Band actually works great here, as well as things like Citrus Berry and Leftovers. Our third pick is also strong, bulky, and very, very slow, and this is one that I have used before to pretty great success. This is Hatterene, and I am very much looking forward to using this. While it doesn't have the best HP, its defenses are great, and 136 special attack is fantastic. This thing can set Trick Room all day long, and it also gets Magic Bounce to act as a deterrent for opposing hazards. We will get another form of removal a little bit later, but this is going to be our main deterrent. Like I said, this does in Trick Room, and the standard set includes things like Psychic Noise, maybe Dazzling Gleam, Mystical Fire, things like that. It can also set things like Screens. It can also Healing Wish, which is pretty great, Nuzzle to slow things down, Calm Mind, and even Draining Kiss in order to heal back up. A Fairy Feather is actually a pretty common item on this, as well as Leftovers for healing and a Life Orb for more damage. Now at this point I was looking to do something completely different with the team, and by this third round I want to say I had been sniped, I want to say, but at least 5 or 6 times. We went through almost 50 different draft plans between myself and Viz that just kept getting sniped and kept getting sniped. This was certainly my worst sniped draft of all time. So we were going in a completely different direction prior to this next pick, and then we kind of had to rein things in and go in a different direction. And so a little redundant with Hatterene, but you'll see where we're going with it here in just a minute. It's a mon that I've not personally gotten to use, but I have done front office for people who have it, and I absolutely love this mon. I believe in it. I think it's great. That's Iron Crown. This thing is a really, really great bring. You can run things like Agility, Calm Mind on it, or you can just go with things like Focus Blast, Tachyon Cutter, Bolt Switch, Psyshock, things like that. It is a mon that can use booster energy to boost its stats, which is pretty cool. Or if it somehow ends up in electric terrain, that's also cool too. I don't plan on using that at the moment, but it is an option. For my next pick, I wanted something that was naturally very fast. I wanted another pivot option, and I wanted something that's kind of another deterrent, right? We got Magic Bounce on Hatterene in order to bounce back rocks. I wanted something to deter some other things that are out there. And you know what? Intimidate is definitely something that I would like to deter. Here we are with Ogerpon Teal. I have actually not drafted an Ogerpon yet, at least not one that I have used. Every time that we had it in our last season, I believe I had Zenkai use it, but I have not used the normal grass one, which is going to be a really interesting bring for me. It is fast. It gets things like the Ivy Cudgel, which is its signature move, does a lot of damage, has a high crit chance, knock off to get rid of items, play rough, U-turn, of course, to get on out of there, or we could be really cheeky on it and go with Leech Seed plus Spiky Shield. That's always an option. And it's another fast taunter. You can Sword Stance for extra power and even Synthesis to keep yourself healthy. What's great about this Ogerpon is that it can hold items. So a Scarf, a Band, Life Orb, Leftovers even, any of those items can work really well on it, and a lot of different sets can work. So I'm very much looking forward to using it. For my next pick, I wanted to go ahead and grab a Terra Captain, and this was actually on one of my original plans, then I took it off, and then I put it back on, and then I took it off, and I was back and forth on this one quite a bit, but we ended up landing on Hawlucha. Now, unfortunately, we don't get access to the Mega Evolution. I wish we did, but we're just gonna have to settle for normal Hawlucha this time around. 92 attack isn't the best, but it can be workable, of course, with the addition of Sword Stance. 118 speed is fantastic, and of course, on top of that, you can go with Unburden. Unburden, of course, can activate in many different ways, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but this will allow us to be very, very fast and very, very offensive. We also get access to the ability Mold Breaker, which is a really, really good fringe ability to have, and it can allow you to get through things like Levitate, like Sturdy, and there are plenty of options that this can actually just bust right through, and it can definitely take people off guard. What's great about having Unburden is that it also will activate Acrobatics when we give up an item, so that makes that very powerful. If we still have our item, Brave Bird does a lot of damage, Close Combat is great, Fire Punch, Poison Jab for coverage on the fairies, and then Bulk Up is another option to make ourselves a little bit bulkier. We also can do a fast Encore in order to help ourselves set up. Not bad, and it can also U-turn to pivot. Great ways to activate this are things like the Power Herb with Sky Attack, which is really fun, White Herb plus Close Combat, and then there are also, of course, are a number of seeds that will activate when you are in a certain type of terrain, and so we will come back to that here in a little bit. I think you all have already figured out where we're going with this, but if not, hang on, we'll be there in a second. Next up is our other Terra Captain, and I wanted to make sure that we had something that was special and also very offensive, and we went with Armor Rouge. Now, Armor Rouge was on the original plan because this was originally going to be a Sun team, and basically all the pieces we wanted got taken. But Armor Rouge is still here, and so Armor Rouge has the Weak Armor ability, which combined with something like a weakness policy is very powerful. That is +2 attack, special attack, and speed all in one go. -1 defense, but honestly totally worth it. We can then have something like Armor Cannon for our fire type attack. Aura Sphere helps us to hit certain things like dark types, Energy Ball for water types. It also gets Focus Blast, Meteor Beam, Scorching Sands, Trick Room, Screens, and even Destiny Bond if we wanted to play a little bit of a trick there. Really, really good stuff. And of course, like I said, the weakness policy is one of the most common items on it, but Life Orb and Power Herb also make a lot of sense. Next up, another mon that I have used before, and I really like it, so I'm glad to be bringing it back, and that is Araquanid. This is a deceptively good mon, especially with Water Bubble. Water Bubble is an absolutely insanely good ability, giving us 2 times power on all of our water moves and making us immune to burn. Really great stuff. We get some awesome coverage like Leech's Life, Poison Jab, Liquidation, Crunch, and this also can set Sticky Webs, which is really, really great. Sticky Webs, of course, is going to lower the speed of anything touching the ground and not wearing boots, and that's really fantastic for us. We also have Mirror Coat shenanigans, which can always be fun. We have things like Chilling Water. You can even do Endure plus Custap as well. There are a lot of good options on that. Choice Band, of course, makes a lot of sense. Leftovers, and then another item that I see a lot on this are berries that resist either flying or electric. Either one of those can work great. So it all comes together with this pick here, and I thought we could wait quite a while on this, and turns out we could. And so we actually took Indeedee. Now, Indeedee actually gives us 2 different forms. Same typing, but different stats. So, of course, the male version is a little bit less bulky, but it's more offensive, and the female version is a lot slower, less offensive, but it's a lot more bulky, which is pretty cool. Giving us that option is basically 2 mons in one, and it also sets Psychic Terrain when it comes in. And so, that's right, we're doing Psy Spam. So, we have a lot of Expanding Force users, as you can see, and we're ready to unleash that on everybody. And actually the male version gets it too, which is really cool. Now female gets Slow Baton Pass, which also is quite good, and we also get other coverage, things like Dazzling Gleam, Energy Ball, Psychic Noise, Shadow Ball, and then also great support things like Healing Wish and Trick. All of those are great. Of course, the male version likes choice items most of the time, And then you also have things like leftovers and even wise glasses if you want to be able to change moves. But mainly we're here to set that terrain and be able to get our Halucha to activate its seed, or to make sure that expanding force is going to be at full power. If you don't know, expanding force is a move that is normally not that great, but if you use it in psychic terrain, the power doubles and it goes absolutely wild and becomes very spammable. So that is our goal with this. It's very, very powerful. I'm excited to get to use it. To round out our draft, we had a few points left, quite a few points left actually, and so I picked two that I thought were pretty reliable mid-range mons. And so the first pick is Azumarill. I love this mon. I believe in this mon. It's absolutely fantastic. It gets the ability Huge Power, so add that on top of its 50 base attack. Yeah, the 50 base attack isn't much, but when you add Huge Power on top of it and maybe a Choice Band or even a Belly Drum, this thing goes off and it's absolutely fantastic. So like I said, you Belly Drum, then you click Aqua Jet, you click Liquidation, Play Rough, you get Knockoff, Superpower. All of those moves do absolutely amazing damage with Huge Power. Really good stuff. You also get access to Sap Sipper as well, which is something that should not be overlooked. It's an incredibly powerful ability as well, because pretty much everybody's going to expect the Huge Power, and so all of a sudden you're just immune to grass and then you just hit somebody back. That can be very, very helpful for sure. This thing loves Choice Band, it loves Assault Vest, and of course Citrus Berry for the Belly Drum set. Our final pick is a mon that I really like. I don't believe I've drafted it this generation, but I definitely believe in it, and that is Dragalge. This mon is very bulky, especially on the special side, and it's great for what we needed. We needed a dragon, we needed a grounded poison. It gives us another option for switching out with flip turn. That's really good, and it gets the ability Adaptability. That makes this thing hit so hard with its stab moves, and its stab moves are great. Dragon plus poison, pretty good offensive typing, I have to say. It's really good. So of course we're going to be dropping Dracos, Focus Blasts for the steel types, flip turning around, Sludge Wave, even Scald, which is great in order to burn things. We also get Toxic Spikes on this kit as well, which can be really, really good, seeing how bringing a poison type into the Spam team may not always be the best idea. And so this also, of course, loves things like Choice Specs, even Black Sludge, and you can even run an eject pack with it once you've used Draco Meteor. So that is your squad for the Appalachia Appletons in our SPL D League run. Our first week of battles goes up 1 week from today, and so I hope that you all will check that out. Make sure you're subscribed down below so that you don't miss that. And so until next time, stay safe out there, stay healthy. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.